Welcome to our next episode of Leading Ladies, a conversation with women who are leading in their professions and in their lives. Today, we are opening the door with this leading lady. Please welcome Kaci Hancock. Hi, Kaci. It's so nice to meet you. Well, virtually, but welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you guys and to be considered a leading lady. It's such an honor. So thank you both.
Kaci is the operations director for Houston's historic Rice Village Shopping Center. Kaci's tenure in commercial real estate spans 23 years. You do not look old enough to have had that long of a career, my dear. And she is both accredited and certified in real estate management. She has successfully managed several diverse commercial portfolios, including mixed use, office, retail, industrial, and office warehouse. While working under retail visionary Ed Wolf, she played an integral role in the development and management of Uptown Houston's Boulevard Place and Stafford's new mixed-use asset, The Grid. Her extensive knowledge of commercial real estate operations encompasses financial reporting, vendor contract management, coordination of capital improvements, and management of building staff. Kaci's high energy, attention to detail, and passion for customer service fuels a strong focus on relationship building with everyone, from ownership to maintenance staff. As a member of IREM Houston, she has been recognized locally 4 times with the ACOM of the Year Award, CPM Candidate of the Year Award, and twice with the Mentor of the Year Award. By the way, Kaci, I have a copy of your Mentor playbook. Lindsay Conlon from IREM Houston sent it to me because I'm looking at not only incorporating it in San Diego, but I want to take it national. I think that this is a great program to have a national platform. So
that's amazing.
Good work. Kaci also serves as the 2021 president for the Houston chapter of the Institute of Real Estate Management, in addition to serving on the national level as an IREM Foundation board member and as vice chair of IREM Diversity Board, highlighting concentration on ethnic diversity and inclusion throughout the real estate industry. In addition to her volunteer efforts with IREM and several Houston charities, she also lends her time to mentoring those interested in pursuing a real estate management career. What a bio. And I'll tell you that when I got to chat with you at IREM Global Summit recently, you knocked my socks off. So I'm so excited to have you on the program today.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Kaci, Lucinda does not come back raving about everybody, but she definitely was raving about you, and I can understand why. I want to start off with asking you, how do you choose to inspire others, perhaps both in your professional and volunteer work?
Well, let me start by saying that Lucinda is too kind. And she knocked my socks off as well. I immediately felt her vibrant energy when we met, because earlier in the week, I do believe, you were introducing a fellow IREM member on the main stage. And you were just giving me such fierce vibes because you graced that stage in your sneakers in a room full of women who were in heels. And I thought, now that's a boss lady right there on stage, owning it in front of hundreds of people, rocking her sneakers. And I thought, yep, I'm going to be like her when I grow up.
Thank you.
So you're pretty amazing yourself. That was pretty boss lady right there. So I love that. But to answer your question on how I choose to inspire others, it's one of my passions, actually. And my mother instilled in me and my siblings at an early age that actions speak louder than words. So I choose to inspire others through my actions by literally being the change that I want to see, which just in turn bleeds over into my everyday life and my volunteer work. For instance, I'm always going to share in the sacrifice, and I'm never going to ask anyone to perform a task or participate in an activity that I'm unwilling to participate in or do myself. And I've always been a firm believer in leading by example, personally and professionally, especially for my children. I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 24-year-old son. And leading by example has always been key for me when it comes to just showing them who they can be, knowing their worth and what they can do. So This means actually demonstrating the courage to speak up and act and remain consistent and persistent, but flexible in everything that you do.
Okay, you're knocking my socks off again. Thank you. So,
You make it easy.
Kaci, what do you think, what does success in leadership look like to you?
That's kind of a two-part question, really, and it kind of goes back to the first question of how you inspire others. Because leadership cannot be successful if your team is not drinking the Kool-Aid, right? It's one of the reasons why IREM is so successful, because we all drink the IREM Kool-Aid, or as we say in IREM Houston, we bleed IREM blue. So
We say it in San Diego too.
do you? Yes. So we're all drinking the Kool-Aid. So, if your team does not believe in you, then they're not going to drink that Kool-Aid. And they need to feel that you believe in them. And I say feel, not know. They need to feel that you believe in them so that they in turn believe in you, and that you can take their vision and their thoughts and their processes and lead them to success collectively. So I know personally, I had a mentor tell me when I first walked into an IREM Houston luncheon, probably about 14 years ago, it was me and only one other person of color in the whole room. And that person of color just happened to be George Griffin, who was the president at the time. And I was voluntold to go to this IREM luncheon. I had to get involved. The owner of my company was a past president. He was trying to help me, climb the ladder. I had just been promoted to assistant property manager. And I walked into that room and I thought, oh my gosh, I do not belong here. There's just no way. This is not for me. And I immediately was intimidated. And then I saw George take the stage and I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I do belong here. And afterwards, I went up to him and I introduced myself and I said to him, one day I'm going to be like you when I grow up and I'm going to be president of IREM. And his exact words to me were, I believe in you. And I have taken that with me over the last 14 years. And I have spoken those words to my mentees, to my employees, and I don't even like to call them my employees. I call them my team, because they don't work for me. We work together. And that's also part of how you can be successful in leadership, which is just being authentic and showing people that we're here to work together. You don't work for me. I don't work for you. This is a togetherness situation, and together we can and will be great.
Kaci, I have to tell you, I know a lot about that voluntold life.
Yes, you do.
That's called pathway to greatness.
Right? I know. I don't think any of us start out saying, I'm going to be a leader. We may have basic leadership skills from sports or activities we did as kids, but in business, we get there by learning from those before us. Thus, this Leading Ladies series. So what advice would you give someone going into a leadership position for the first time?
That's a good question. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't want to sound cocky when I say this, but growing up, my mother always said to us, be a leader and not a follower. So I knew that I was destined to be a leader someday, just unsure in what capacity. Yes, I played basketball, was horrible at it. Played several other sports, were horrible at them too. So I knew one day that I was going to be a leader because I knew my mother believed in me and I believed that she believed in me. I just didn't know where and when I would be a leader. So I'm happy to say that I also drilled that phase into both of my children. And it's definitely rubbed off on the girl child, who is the debate team captain and was just last night sworn in to serve our city. Wow. As a member of the Mayor's Youth Council. So wow. That awesome. Phrase, be a leader, not a follower, has truly stuck with me all my life. And I have been saying it to my children every morning when they get out of the car since they were little, to the point to where they would say, okay, we get it. I know, be a leader, not a follower. So the best advice I would give to someone as a first-time leader or in a first-time leadership role would be check your ego at the door and focus on building genuine relationships with your team and showing them again that you just believe in them. Practice empathy and compassion where you can. That's so key. It's so key when it comes to being a leader, is it showing your team that you care and that you care about their wants and needs, and that, you know, what they want and what they need are just as important as what you want as the leader and what you need from them. You absolutely cannot be inspired by someone who does not care about others. And when your team knows you care about them, they will definitely go above and beyond for you and your purpose.
I can't help but think about the quote that has been attributed to Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they will never forget the way that you made them feel. And as you're speaking, that's just running like a tape through my head. I think that your comments are so incredible. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That's my actual second favorite quote.
What's your first?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay. I'm jumping the gun.
Well, are we going to jump down to there?
No.
Okay.
I have one more question I want to ask you. In your career or in your life, other than your mother telling you to be a leader and not a follower, what advice have you received that may have changed the trajectory of your career?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Because I've received so many wise words of wisdom and pearls of wisdom over the past 23 years. It's weird for me to say that, 23 years, considering that my son is 24.
I know.
But I have to say, I have been truly blessed to have some really great mentors over the course of my career. And that has left me on the receiving end of some really sound advice. And at the beginning of my career, one of my long-term mentors told me that nothing comes easy. And that kind of parallels to what my mom has always said to me and instilled in me and my siblings as well, is nothing comes easy. So don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work. And even if you're the only one doing so, do it. Just do it. And that advice really paid off, especially when bonus or promotion time came around. And because it did, it set me apart from the others. You know, as a woman of color and usually the only person of color in my office at the time when I first started in my career, it was very intimidating. And a lot of times, like I mentioned earlier, I felt like I didn't belong. And my mom said to me, "You are different." And she's always said that to me my whole life because I'm 6 feet and I have been, 5'10" since I was in 8th grade. So she's always said that to me. You're different. You have to embrace your difference. You have to use it to your advantage. And just because you're different does not mean that you don't belong. So that was kind of the same for me when I entered the corporate world. I was always the only person of color, not just woman of color, but person of color. And I always felt like I didn't belong and I had to show and prove and work even harder. And my mom said, yes, that is correct. You do. But you have to. And so that was parallel with what my longtime mentor told me, was that don't be afraid to do that. And don't take it as a slight that you have to work harder, because when you work harder, you are the one that's going to be rewarded. You're the one that's going to be noticed. And you're the one that's basically going to be at the top soon. And they both were right.
I've thought about you often since I got back from Global Summit, and I was trying to think how I would describe you. And yes, you're tall, and beautiful, stunningly so. But what struck me about you, and I know that I've seen you in years past, but we've never had an opportunity to speak. What struck me about you is that when you enter a room, there is no question that you are there. The space that you hold is so expansive and so inclusive, if you will, and inviting, that there's just no question that you are who you are, and you are there to do whatever you can and will do. When I say you knocked my socks off, you really did, because you just have this presence that's amazing. And
Thank you.
I'm happy that I can now call you, I would hope, a friend.
Yes.
Certainly a business associate and a fellow IREM Let's Bleed Blue, but I'll stop talking because I know it's Melissa's turn.
Well, thank you for saying that, though. I really appreciate that, Lucinda, because, as a 6-foot woman, one who wears heels, I have always been self-conscious about my height when I was younger, because I was always the tallest person in the room or in the school, or taller than all the boys. And my mom made it a point to just say, hey, you're different. I'm sorry, there's not anything we can do about that. When you walk into the room, you're going to be the center of attention. Nobody's going to be able to miss you. You're just going to have to own it. And I would say from the time I was in 8th grade up until my junior year of high school, I struggled with being the tallest person all of the time. But my mom was always there to comfort me and just to lift me up and tell me how beautiful I was. She put me in modeling so that I could work on my posture.
Wow.
And I hated it.
Is your mother still around?
She is not. She December 3rd, it'll be 18 years that she left us. Yeah, but she played such an important role in who I am as a woman and a mother as well, because I lacked that confidence, but she made sure that I was going to have that confidence. And she said, when you walk into the room, you roll your shoulders back, you lift your chin, you hold your head high, and you say, yep, I'm here. And that's just what I've had to do. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I've had to do it. And it's just come easier, as you get older and you become a mother and you come into your own and you know your worth, it just gets easier. And those are some of the tools and pearls of wisdom that I share with some of the tall girls that I mentor here in Houston, that you have to be able to own it. Kind of like you walking on stage in your tennis shoes and in front of that room full of people. I was just blown away. I was like, that is bad. She's bad.
Well, Kaci, I want to thank you for your insight today and ask you to wrap us up with your favorite leadership quote.
Oh, absolutely. Again, from Maya Angelou, a leader sees greatness in other people, and, nor he or she can be much of a leader if all she sees is herself. And what that means is that, what it means to me is that leadership is definitely not about me. It's not about me. It's about releasing greatness in my team, be that at work, be that at home with my husband and my children, be that in IREM with my executive council and my chairpersons, my leadership team there. It's truly about creating a vision of the future. And, that vision should serve the greater good, inspire others to build a better future together. Our motto last year in Houston was engage, inspire, and educate, because people need to be inspired, especially after the rough 18 months that we've been through. And, as a leader, when you can see greatness in others, it's your job to acknowledge that potential and create a space for them to thrive in and shine. Because if they shine, as a leader, of course you shine. And several of my mentors have done that for me. Several of my former bosses have done that for me. And that's why I'm here sitting with you guys today, being honored as a leading lady. And for me, it is my ultimate goal to pay that forward. It's my duty to do the same for others. So thank you guys for having me. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm honored to be here with both of you.
Okay, so I can't thank you enough for taking the time to sit and chat with us today. This is you're our closing episode for 2021. We've decided to go out with a bang. Miss Kaci Hancock, and
I love it. I hope I didn't talk too much.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I will be looking forward to seeing you at future IREM events. And I'm going to pick up on something that you said about helping leaders thrive. As you know, our President Chip Watts, our turn of phrase for this year is "Together we thrive," and together we do thrive. So thank you.
Thanks, Kaci.
Absolutely.